A quick range report after the first 10 rounds through the 03A3. I shot 2 groups of 5 today at 100 yards, and the rifle's a built-up 03A3 target rifle. I don't know what kind of stock it is. I suspect it's a Fajan or a Bishop. It's a Hart barrel. You can maybe see the markings there. It's a Hart barrel, and I measured it with a jag, and it's 1 in 11 twist, and then it's got a Redfield Palma sight on the rear, and then up front we've got a Redfield International sight, so international match, and it's a typical target stock with a cheek piece and whatnot, rail on the bottom for the hand stops and whatnot, and all that. So I had to do a little bit of work on the rifle to get it ready to go. I had to do a little bit of work on the magazine cutoff. Whoever had done the initial work didn't have that quite right, so I took care of that. I had to do a little bit of work on the sight block to get enough clearance from the bolt. It is a modified bolt to clear things, and there's not much clearance from the sight knob, but it's enough to take care of it. It works fine, so that was all good. And what I did for my starting load is I measured the chamber more or less, and I got some brass size that fit in it real tight. And then I did the typical split neck case, and I seated bullets, and the only bullets that I tried is a 168 Sierra Match King and the 180 Match King, and I just put them in until they were a firm contact. They stuck in the barrel, and I did the method of measuring from the muzzle end with a rod and a stop, and then the difference from contacting the front of the bullet to the face of the closed bolt to get an overall length for contact with the lands. And then I did the backwards math. So the 180 seat's a little bit different than the 168. Oddly enough, when you look at my 3.345 measured overall length to contact versus the 3.32 recommended length in the Sierra manual, it's exactly 25 thousandths difference. Right on the order of that. So I went ahead and seated my bullets at about the 3.32, so they were roughly 25 thousandths off. The brass was just, some once fired PPU brass. All I did was anneal it and size it to make sure the trim was good and all that. So what I did is I did a quick bore sight on the rifle. I basically took the bolt out, looked down the bore, aligned the sights to the bore on a standard NRA small bore 100-yard target to get a good zero. And took the first shots, and these are the first 5 shots. There's 2 here, and then there's the balance. So that was the first group. And if we look at the velocities, I'm a little bit warmer than I first thought. My target velocity was 2,700. So what I did is I used Gordon's reloading tool to get 2,700 feet per second with IMR 4350 seated to the depth that I chose. And it predicted a charge, and then I ran the optimum barrel time on that predicted charge, and it gave me an estimate of 55.6 grains of 4350. It was a little more than 2,700 feet per second, something around 2740, 2750, something in that range. And that was hitting the last node before I was an overcharge. So it's 55.6 is about a grain under Hodgdon's maximum for IMR 4350. So I went with that as a test, and this is what we got on the first velocity. So our average was a little bit higher than I thought it should be, but it was there, and this was the group that we got. The second group, my velocity settled down a little bit. I don't know if it got dirty, if it got warmed up. There was a little time between, but we are flirting with 2,800 feet per second, so I'm a little fast. So I'll rerun the loads through GRT and see what it comes up for an adjusted charge. However, all I did from this group is I cranked in 6 MOA of up on the rear sight, and this is the second group. That's the 5-shot group. So, we're right about an inch, maybe a little bit under. So I don't feel bad for the second group of 5 coming out of the barrel that I'm still learning the sights on. All I did was I bore sighted it. I got this. I added 6 of up, and I got this on my second group. So looks like I can come back to the left about an MOA or so, and all should be good there. And then I'll take a look at this load and see what I can do to get the velocity around. Maybe slow it down if there's still a node that's somewhere predicted, an OBT node that's down a little bit slower. I don't really need to be shooting 2,800 feet per second. I'm going to be shooting 300 yards primarily, 200 and 300 yards with this rifle. So that's where I'm at on it. 10 rounds in, and I've got this. I've got a load that works, so if I try something different and I don't see anything, I can come back to this. Say it wasn't any fancy calculations with load prep or brass prep or anything. It was pretty much a throw together guess, and I'm expecting that the barrel will probably shoot. I'll probably stick with the 180s. I like the seating depth with the 180s. I get a little bit more bullet in the case neck than I do with the 168s, but I think the rifle's going to work out fine. I may try to get out and shoot it a little bit tomorrow. I can practice a little bit Saturday if I make it to the match, if the weather stays straight for us, but that's where we're at. I don't know if I mentioned it, the barrel's 27 inches from the muzzle to the bolt face when the bolt is closed, and it is a 1 in 11 twist. So that's what I'm working with here. I probably could shoot 200s, 220s, might not have enough twist rate for that, but yeah, it was real easy to shoot. Mark did take a little bit of video of me shooting the rifle, and he was kind enough to write down the velocities. We were battling the weather. It got misty, it was sleeting, it was no wind, so that was good, but Mark did take a little bit of video. I'll put that in here. And thanks everybody for watching. I'll continue to work on this and see if I can dial it in a little bit, but I think we've got something good to work from. Can't ask for much more from the first 10 shots of a rifle that you just got a hold of. So thanks for watching.